What up, people? Arcane Dedicated Project bringing you guys this new video. I just want to talk about Ryse a little bit. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this game that much, so I want to give my own opinion of it. Personally, I think it's a pretty underrated game. I see a lot of reviews, people calling it a bad game, even though most game sites that do gamer reviews, as in they have gamers themselves do reviews, and then the final review is the average of those reviews are usually good. But GameSpot and IGN have all given the game a bad rating. This is not a review, this is just my thoughts on the game. But personally for me, I really enjoyed it. The story is pretty good, it's well told, good voice acting, voice syncing. Graphically it's pretty good, but that's not a really surprise to anybody because it's pretty much a eye candy game. It pretty much just all the thing it's doing is Crytek showing the range of what the Xbox One could do right now graphically. Combat's pretty repetitive, but not so much as to make the game boring or anything. It does have a lot of issues, like it's pretty linear. Everything in this game is pretty much walk in a straight line, turn, walk in a straight line, jump over something, walk in a straight line, turn again, walk in a straight line. Then I think we're past this in games right now. I think that for next gen systems we need to have more open world games. If it's not a shooter, it needs to be an open game. No one wants to play an RPG or an action game that's this linear or just closed together in one little small compact. The length is not very short, but for an action game it's short. It's about the length of your average shooter, about 6-7 hours long. If you look at all the collectibles, maybe it's about 7 hours long. There's 8 chapters, and those can range from 45 minutes to an hour long each. It's easy to forget this game was meant to be only for the Kinect on 360, because originally this game was meant to be a Kinect game for 360 back in 2010 2011. This was not originally supposed to be an Xbox One game, but Microsoft kind of, once they had the launch date for the Xbox One set out, they went to Crytek and pretty much told them, hey, change your plans. We want this game to be a full-fledged game for our flagship next gen system. At the same time, we want to keep some Kinect aspects, but not full aspects of Kinect. Just make it just background features. So this is kind of a rushed out, half-assed game that wasn't supposed to be the way it is. This is pretty much like, say they think they had like maybe 18 months to redesign the original Ryse into what it is now. So it's easy to forget that, and it's also easy to think that if they did have a full dev cycle to make this game for the Xbox One like they should have, it might be a better game, might be a longer game, might not be as close spaced as it is. But more issues that it has is the game mechanics. Everything in this game flows rather smoothly, is very fluid, but the mechanics of the game kind of hurts the experience of anything you get out of this game. For instance, there's times where I've played the game and you'll be trying to pick up some spears off the ground, but the character doesn't pick up the spears. He's sitting there bashing his shield. There's moments in the game where you're trying to do one thing and he does something completely different. There's some glitches in the game where you dodge an enemy, but they somehow still hit you even though you're half a foot away from them. So this game has its flaws. It's a pretty flawed game, but at the same time, it's a fun game. It's a good game. If you're into this game, is strictly for those who are into Crytek games and people who are into Roman era games. Like me, I'm a big fan of Roman era stuff. Like I love movies that are based in Roman era as well as games like the Gladiator, Troy, and this game. Now, I like this game. I enjoyed it. It's not a bad game. However, it's not a console seller. That's not a no-brainer. But if you're sitting there looking at Ryse and thinking, is this game going to be a reason why I buy an Xbox One or not, then you're pretty retarded, because it was never designed to be that. Like I said, it was designed to be eye candy. That's all it is. It's pretty much just like Killzone. Killzone was designed to be eye candy for the PS4. It wasn't designed to be the console seller for the PS4. It wasn't designed to be an amazing game. It was designed to be the game that shows you the range of the PS4's graphical range at this moment. Because of course, in 2 or 3 years, every game will look even better than it does right now. But the launch games were designed that way. These two games, not every other launch game, but these two games were just eye candy. So you can't really look at them and try to say that they're console sellers, because they're not. A console seller for the PS4 would be a game like Infamous. a console seller for Xbox One would be something like Dead Rising or Titanfall. Those are console sellers, as well as Forza 5 is also a console seller. But this is not designed to do that. It was designed to be eye candy. And with all that said, though, it's still a good game. You know, if you have an Xbox One and you considering getting Ryse and you're into the Roman era and you don't really mind mechanic issues I mentioned, go ahead and try it out. You know, it's $40 at GameStop. If you have Power Rewards card, it's $44 pre-owned. It's $50 new at GameStop, $60 new on Xbox Marketplace. Like again, it is repetitive. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not repetitive, but I see this game the same way I saw Assassin's Creed 1. Assassin's Creed 1 was a pretty good game. It was visually good looking, the story was great, but it was very repetitive. People didn't like it because it's repetitive. So this game is just like that. You know, it's going to be a game that some people like, some people don't like. Reviewers don't like it, gamers do like it. So it's just one of those games. Either you love it or you hate it, and it's just that. You know, if they make a sequel to this game, I fully expect it to be just like Assassin's Creed, where Assassin's Creed 1 was repetitive and boring, and then Assassin's Creed 2 was this open world and very fluid game. There's a second Ryse. I'd imagine it'd be just like that. It'd be more open world. It'd be more they fix all the issues that they had in the current game, and it would just be an overall better game, because you know, this is the first game Crytek has made on the Xbox One, so you assume there's going to be some flaws with it. So it's like I said before, it was not originally designed to be an Xbox One game. It was designed to be a Kinect game for Xbox 360 4 years ago. So with all that said, guys, you say Arcane. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna keep playing some Ryse a little bit. It's like I said, it's a short game, so it doesn't really have a lot of replayability. I'm not gonna post a lot of it, or if you know, this might be my last time if I post a Ryse video. Period. That's not a down look on the game, because like I said, it's not a bad game. The reason why I say I won't post more of it, because it's not a very visual appealing game on YouTube. You know, there's games that people want to watch on YouTube, and it's mostly shooters, racing games, fighting games, you know, things like that, and sport games. No one wants to watch action games or RPGs. There's a little small market for RPGs like Elder Scrolls and MMOs, but for action games, there's not really a lot of channels that's posting Assassin's Creed videos 24/7, or Splinter Cell, or Borderlands, or Ryse. Games like that, these games aren't visually appealing to the masses on YouTube, because they're not really interesting. You know, people like high octane, high adrenaline things like shooters. They like in intellectual sport games where the commentator is giving a lot of information on sports, or why this sport game is good or not good. Like Shakedown gets his opinions on NBA 2K14. We don't want to see NBA 2K15. You know, those are the type of things people want to see on YouTube, not games like this. So that's why I wouldn't really post a lot of this game. If I do post it, it'll just be to have it as a backdrop, but talk about other things, not the game itself. But as for the game's difficulty, it's pretty much the same way as any other action game. The sport difficulties is Recruit, Soldier, Centurion, and Legendary. Recruit and Soldier are just pretty much the easy difficulties, but Legendary and Centurion are pretty difficult. Like, there's QTE events, but they're not as easy to execute as it would be in Soldier or Recruit. You can just do them over and over again in Soldier and Recruit, but you can't really do them a lot in the hard difficulties, because you know it's supposed to be a hard game. And I like that. This is a difficult game, but the mechanics kind of make it more difficult than it needs to be. That's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just there. Besides that, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit you guys up on the next video. Come pretty soon. Until then, guys, peace out.